I want to welcome you to our program today. We have a very interesting program, and we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Ann Fremont, and she's from Des Moines, Iowa. And she is one who is a certified health coach. And so, Ann, I want to welcome you here today.
Thank you.
And so, as we think about our lives, there's certainly, our mind that we're concerned about, our spirit, but then there's also our body. But it sounds like in the approach that you have when it comes to health is that you try to encompass all three. And as I think about what is written in Matthew chapter 22, beginning with the 37th verse, Jesus replied saying, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all of your mind, and with all your strength." And then I also think about what is written in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16, where the Apostle Paul says, "Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit?" And then he goes on to say that anybody who destroys the temple of God, well, how awful would that be? In other words, take care of your body. Take care of this temple that God has given to you. And so, Ann, what got you interested in this whole health field?
Well, about 2007, I was involved with health coaching. I had a part-time job, and I helped people. They came to it was a business. They came to the business and wanted to lose weight, and my job was to help them get there. And then the business closed. And so then I'd been on this lifelong journey of health. I believe that it really began in my home when I was young. My father was a diabetic, and so we were always taking care of his health, and health was a priority, and eating right, and sleeping. And so that was kind of ingrained in me. As my dad's diabetes progressed, he got worse and lost his eyesight and then passed. And so throughout his lifetime, health was just a major factor.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it all started for you then, was being concerned about your father and seeing what you could do to try to encourage him to have good health. Yeah, and so when you think about health today, we hear so much, on television and, the news about taking care of ourselves and health. And a lot of us now, we're living a sedentary lifestyle where we're just not out getting the physical, getting our bodies, as far as the physical work that maybe once generations past, where people just kind of got, all of their physical activity just in their work. But now people have to really be intentional about taking care of themselves. And I know with our society, the fast pace, that a lot of times we just don't eat right either. It's a lot of fast foods and so forth. And so this has really caused a health crisis within our society. And I don't know, would you want to address that, just, some of the crisis that our society is dealing with health, and just the change that maybe has taken place in our society over a generation or two?
Yes, way back in the beginning, we were hunters and gatherers, and we just basically ate the nuts and the meats of other animals, and we moved, and so we didn't have breads and starches and fast foods, and so nowadays, there's some startling statistics out there. 2 out of 3 adults are overweight. 1 out of 3 adults are obese. 1 out of 5 children are obese, and that's between the ages of 2 and 19. So, that's a huge crisis coming on. 25 million Americans have diabetes, and 79 million people are pre-diabetic. And as most people are aware, diabetes will come from overweight and carrying too much weight. But it also is genetically based as well. So it could be passed down through generations. So this program, I just find that, we are in a fast-paced world, and people don't always take the time to make the meals that they need to eat, that their bodies really need. They do drive through the drive-through. They don't eat 6 times a day. they eat maybe 3 big meals or 2, and so you have ups and downs of your blood sugar spiking, and so that's just another thing that makes people very unhealthy as well.
Yeah, and so as we hear about this crisis, that to really start taking a look at this as far as taking care of ourselves, eating right,
Yes.
getting some exercise. And so you are a health coach, and there's a certain program that you really feel is a very good program. And could you explain that a little bit? I know you already kind of touched on diet and so forth, but looking at this whole thing holistically, that it's not just, because like around New Year's time, we're all thinking, okay, what's my New Year's resolution? I probably need to lose some weight, or I need to start eating right, getting more exercise, or whatever it is. And well, now, as we think about this time of the year, how many people are still sticking with their New Year's resolutions? And I know that that's got to be a problem as well. And so, and it's, a lot of times, too, we're looking for kind of that quick fix. What's kind of the gimmick? Is there just some kind of a tablet that I can take that will kind of change everything? And so I just want to hear about, okay, you've seen the success of the program. What would you title this program that we are that you're coaching, as far as being a health coach?
Well, I would call it the Habits of Health.
Habits of Health.
Habits
okay.
of Health. This program has 3 components to it. The first program is your habits of health. And what I mean when I say habits of health, we have healthy eating, healthy motion, healthy sleep, healthy mind, and also healthy finances. So this program is one that really helps people to jumpstart their first phase by eating correctly. And I'll go into that a little bit into the program, but I really want to concentrate on the habits. That's my job as the coach, is to, many people have bad habits when it comes to health. And so my job is to educate people on what is a good habit, how can I create a healthy body and a healthy temple, and what are the steps that I would do that. And so the first one would be your healthy eating. We would work on 6 meals a day. We would work on fixing meals with, now you want to divide your plate into half. Of 50% of your plate would be fruits and vegetables, and a quarter would be carbohydrates, and a quarter would be lean meats. We would also work on portion control. We work on a little 100-calorie fueling, because you want to fuel your body every 3 hours. So those are the things that we do with the eating component. Then we move into healthy motion. And people think, oh, I've got to exercise. Oh, I don't know how to exercise.
Well, I should just go back here. Okay, eating.
Eating.
Now, a lot of us grew up that the idea was that you eat 3 times a day. And so now a lot of times when people are kind of battling weight, thinking, well, maybe I should go from 3 meals a day to 2 meals a day. But now you're suggesting 6 meals a day.
Yes.
And so if I'm eating 3 meals a day, all of a sudden the idea of eating 6 meals a day, if I'm trying to lose weight, that almost sounds like that would be counterproductive when it comes to losing weight. So, like you mentioned, okay, so it's eating 6 meals a day, but I suppose it has a lot to do with the kind of food that you eat then. Like you mentioned about the, a little portion of lean meat and carbohydrates. Is that, so you're eating maybe more but really less, so to speak, because you're just not eating as much fat, or how does that work?
Well, our program uses a tool of protein and carb balanced meal replacements to get started, jump-starting your habit of health of eating.
Okay.
When we eat, our blood sugars will just spike if we don't fuel our bodies every 3 hours. And so what we're doing is we're using snack and go meals, which are about 100 calories and protein and carbohydrate balance with 24 nutrients in this. And so what that does is it's when you are a 3 meal a day person and you need, and we recommend that you move to 6, you're not going to be eating massively big meals.
Yeah.
You'll be eating about 100 to 150 calories per sitting, and that way you will be fueling your body. You'll be developing that habit. The meal replacements that we do work with take away all your cravings and your hunger. And then what we do is after you've lost your weight, that's when we teach you, as we're going that way, to use the 100-calorie fueling breaks, we call them. So maybe you're eating 20 almonds, and then maybe you're eating celery and some peanut butter. And it's all portion controlled. And so that is where the eating part of this program takes place.
Okay. And then from there you're mentioning then about the motion, did you say?
Motion, yes.
Okay, then let's move into that. Okay, so
Okay.
this diet, but now the motion aspect of this program?
The motion part is actually just getting up and moving. We do lead a sedentary life. And so what we encourage people to do is, just to start with motion, you can sit up in your chair straighter, you can park farther away from the grocery store, take the stairs instead of an elevator. Ideally, I encourage people to try and schedule exercise at least 30 minutes a day. And that's the ideal long-term goal. And in our busy lives, we have to schedule it. My husband and I, we schedule every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday nights from 4:30 to 6. And so we've just worked that into our schedule, and that's what we do. And so that's what we encourage people to do. And we just start off slowly, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I suggest to people, go out and get yourself a pedometer and put it on your shoelaces. And then you'll track every step of your day, and you'd be surprised how many steps a person can accumulate in one day.
So would you encourage like walking as being a good exercise, or what would be some others, like if somebody, walking, most people can do that, but there's other ones too, like bike riding, or what would you suggest there? What are people into?
Oh, well, there's actual gyms and fitness that way you could go to. My son is a huge Frisbee disc golfer, and so you could go out and you can participate in sports and walk around the golf course. Swimming is a good one. If you're a new mom with a child, you're out pushing a stroller. I used to mall walk on the bad days. I couldn't get outside, so I would choose to go to the mall, put my tennis shoes on. I could window shop at the same time and get my movement in. So those are some things that people can do besides actually going to the gym and getting involved with yoga or CrossFit or Kosama, the different exercise programs that are out there.
Okay. So you got diet, and then some exercise is very important. And what would be the next phase then?
Healthy sleep.
Sleep, okay.
Sleep. Our bodies need to recover and rejuvenate. And it's very necessary to get 6 to 9 hours of sleep. And I know that that's an area that people do struggle with. The way we work on healthy sleep is to help people to find out, are they an AM or a PM person? When are they most active, when are they not? And so when they're not, and they're going to be moving into their sleep, to kind of start with, let's review your day. How did my day go? What were the good things about my day? And then you begin to develop a sleep routine. That's what we encourage, is that you would, don't eat or drink anything a couple hours before you go to bed. Make sure that your bedroom is calm and decluttered and just a place that you can go. I find that 30 minutes of meditation and prayer is a wonderful way to begin the sleep process. So we really do need that for our bodies.
Yeah, so sleep is just something that is so very vital and important in being healthy. And here again, I know people are on all kinds of schedules today. It used to be people would work, 9 to 5 or 7 to 3, and and now they're working at all times of the day and even in the night. I know a lot of people that work the night shifts, and so it has got to get kind of tricky for a lot of people, just to get that 6 to 9 hours in of sleep. But it's very important to do that.
Yes, yes, it is. Our bodies just need that to give us energy and stamina for the next day.
Okay. Yeah. So sleep, and then what else? What else would be important?
Healthy mind.
Healthy mind. All right.
Healthy mind. Healthy mind. We live in, you're right, in a very fast-paced world, and we can put some really unnecessary stress on us based on if we stretch ourselves too thin, we have too much credit, we need to earn money, the children, the sports. I mean, it's just too fast sometimes. And so the healthy mind is to just to, okay, when you're headed towards sleep, you want to make sure that your life is de-stressed, that you can, remove some of that clutter upstairs and just, think positive thoughts.
Okay, so just to know that a lot of us have got stressed minds. Mm-hmm. We got to de-stress that, but then to replace it more with some, with a being calm, but also with positive thoughts.
Yes.
That we can put into our minds. And I know that as we meditate on Scripture, there's lots of Bible verses that can, sometimes, as we focus or meditate on the Bible verses that we can, I don't know, I just think of like John 14:27, my peace I give to you, my peace I leave with you, not as the world gives to you, I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, nor let it be afraid. I mean, as I think about that verse, that can bring, there's so many verses that can do that. But even just, I suppose, putting our mind on a special thought or a positive thought or a peaceful thought, whatever that might be.
Yes, and after you've reviewed your day, and you can just, lay there and know that, you are a blessing, mm-hmm. and that you are blessed. And, I find that just being thankful, mm-hmm. and, it's just a real calming way to, keep my mind from all the busyness.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's busy minds, isn't that something? Well, now, so those are some very good habits. And would there be any more habits to this then, as far as the program goes? Well,
with this program, there's also an opportunity to create healthy finances.
Finances, I knew that there was another one. Finances.
Yes.
Because that's a stress for a lot of people today. Trying to make ends meet and trying to make the dollar stretch farther than maybe what they used to be able to do in the past. Mm-hmm. Cost of living goes up, but a lot of times our incomes do not, and so that does bring a stress to the mind, or to our mind and our. So share a little bit about that, okay, as far as healthy finances is concerned.
Well, this program really allows a person to be their own boss. You can make money on this program, and so it kind of is, the more you help people, the more you can make money. And so I believe that helping people is my main focus. And so the finances that come with this is strictly based on how many people that you actually help and coach. The coaching is free, but you do have some financial, with the food that you get started with. And so it's only a tool, and it is the ability to make some money and build your financial future by helping people.
Okay. Yeah. So, Ann, how many people do you coach?
Well, I'm relatively new. I coach 5 people.
All right.
And, I'm seeing daily weight loss with my clients. And I work with a team of women who have coached hundreds and thousands of people. So their coaches are everywhere, and we have a team, and so there's a team approach, and just like we feel that weight loss is a team approach. And so I like to have my clients kind of buddy up so that they're not doing this on their own.
Right, and I think that's a lot of it too, is that so many times when we try to do something, we go it alone, thinking, I have the strength, I can do it, only to find ourselves kind of falling on our faces, so to speak. But to have a coach, somebody to encourage us, somebody who's maybe more advanced in the whole thing that can give us tips. And I know just when I've had coaches, mainly sports coaches, that those coaches certainly can help me along in different areas, and sometimes it's not like a complete overhaul that needs to happen. Sometimes that has to happen, but just the little tidbits of information, those little things that they say that can just make all the difference in the world as far as optimizing what it is that we're doing. But having that support, having a coach, somebody that's so very important. And so as far as coaching, and you're willing to coach people.
Yes.
And how do people, if they say, well, I'm watching this program today, and as I'm listening to Ann saying, this sounds like a good program, I would like to have Ann as my coach, but she lives all the way in Des Moines, and so how do they get in contact with you, and how does that work then, to say that I want Ann as my coach?
Well, I have a website that I encourage people to go to. It is annefremont.ichooseoptimalhealth.com, and on this website it explains the program in detail, and it has a health assessment quiz that you can take. You can go on and kind of figure out where you are in your health journey, and you can calculate your body mass index so that you have know where you are. Coaching is done via the telephone, via the internet, YouTube, Facebook. We have a lot of support groups that we do online, some Facebook groups that we have. We also, for support, we have regular doctors and nurses calls that we can plug into. I certainly do not have all the answers when it comes to coaching and health. And so I rely a lot on my mentor coaches and the doctors. We even have a behavioral therapist that we can use for people who are struggling.
So this really sounds like it's quite a broad network. And that's one of the blessed things about the internet and our modern technology today, is that people can be connecting all over the place.
Oh, absolutely. This is at least through the United States and beyond. I'm working with a woman now her family's in Australia. And so it's her hope that she'll be able to take this program to Australia.
Yeah. Okay, so when we think about there's so many books out there today about dieting and health, and would you have any books that you would recommend that would kind of feed into this whole concept of your coaching, and as far as this whole optimal health and these healthy habits that we are emphasizing today?
Yes, I did bring today. This is a book, Discover Your Optimal Health, and this is by the program director, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson.
So he's the director of this whole thing.
Yes, he was a physician first, critical care. He's got quite the credentials for his medical practice. But then he felt that, doctors were just providing Band-Aids and maybe not, getting to the root problem, which is people having the intrinsic motivation to be healthy. And so he wrote this book as a guide for people to take control of their weight, their vitality, and their life. It's a very easy read. It can be checked out at the public libraries. You can download it for your Nook or your Kindle, and it's at the bookstores. And this is a book that he's written to kind of help people to start thinking about their health. With the program itself, we have an actual book written by Dr. Anderson called The Habits of Health that is very, very detailed. And that's where all the knowledge comes from, and all the steps and the information that you would need for the habits we discussed earlier. There's also a companion notebook that you can do assignments, and so you can actually figure out what structural tension is one of the things we talk about, and how can you actually get from where you are today to where you want to be. in your health journey, your habits, your mind, your finances.
Yeah, and so it's a real holistic approach. It is not just saying, well, I'm going to try to do without something, or I'm going to try to do this, but rather it's a whole transformation of, as far as our person goes, a whole new outlook. And so
Yes.
it does feature all these very important habits, and so it's putting it all together in a way that sounds like you've had some very good success, as far as people go, and in this, it's helping them not just lose weight, but just to get a whole good perspective on life, a whole good outlook, a whole new way of saying that this is how I approach my life, and so it's integrating it, putting it all together.
It's an amazing program, and my website will tell several success stories, and it shows several before and after pictures. Just in my journey in this program, when I did it in 2007, in 3 months I lost 30 pounds. And then this last September, when I started this program again, I lost 10 pounds in 1 month and dropped 3 pant sizes. So my health and my stamina just went off the roof, off the top of the chart. It's amazing what these tools will do for a person. And then, once you've gotten that success of a healthy mind and body, I want to pay it forward, and I want to coach others to let them know what a fantastic program and life change a person can have by developing these new skills.
Well, I really like this, Ann, and I just want to thank you so much for coming on our program today. And I like this because it just, like the idea of the network of support and having these good habits, and also having a coach. I think the coaching aspect of this is so very important. So, Ann, I just want to thank you for coming on our program today and just really emphasizing, what is very much at the heart of the Bible, that we are the temple of the Holy Spirit, and we need to keep that temple strong, and as we do, that'll glorify the Lord. And so God bless you, Ann, and thank you for being with us this day.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us as well.